All right, welcome into another day of our Thanksgiving journal, our journey in developing a culture, an attitude, a heart, a perspective of Thanksgiving in us, so that we can be more prepared, better equipped to walk in faith and confidence in God, and really just begin to change the orientation of what our eyes are looking for in the world, that we would be more prone to see the positive and the things that God is doing, and a little bit less likely to see the hurdles, the challenges, the blockades, the speed bumps, the all the things that stand in our way to slow us down. So today, the verse that we are reading is in the book of Psalms, chapter 9, in verse 1. So Psalm 9, verse 1, it says, "I will thank the Lord with all my heart. I will declare all your wondrous works." So this would be, I'm imagining that this would be akin to the song that never ends. I don't know if you know the show where that song comes off of. I dare not start singing it, because then this video would be much longer than any of the other videos combined. And so, but if you were to declare all of the wondrous works of the Lord, would it not be the song that never ends? And so, I don't know. That was just kind of a little fun little thing. But I will thank the Lord with all my heart, with all of my heart. And so this is where it's like the core of your whole being, your mind, your will, your emotions are choosing to thank the Lord, choosing to come out and say, "Lord, you are awesome, you are glorious, and here's the list of things that today I'm calling to my mind, I'm calling to my attention, so that you can be properly honored for who you are and what you've done, and also so that I can just be freshly reminded and rehearse those things." And so I guess the first question is, who are you declaring it to? If you are saying, "I will thank the Lord and declare," so I mean, the first person I think you want to declare to is yourself. You want to declare the good works of the Lord to yourself, to remind yourself, to rehearse, to get that top of mind, if you will, to be the very first thing that comes off of your mind when you're in the middle of a challenging situation. The first thing that comes to your mind is the goodness and faithfulness of the Lord. And again, as we're doing this with all of our heart, it kind of carries the tone of with all sincerity. And so this isn't meant to be fake it till you make it. Sometimes it kind of can come across that way, like, man, even if you don't feel thankful, you should. But I think this is really, in some senses, it's really like reminding yourself of things that have actually occurred that you are genuinely thankful for, and then declaring it and actually thanking God for it. So there's a big process in there for us to do, that we would thank God with all sincerity, with all of our heart. And then as we declare the first, again, like I said, the first person you're declaring it to is yourself, but then begin to declare it to your family and your friends, and then strangers. People in your community, they should know that God is doing good things in your midst, because I would be kind of interesting if you were to take stock of over the last week or the last month. How many times have you thought or said, "Man, the enemy is really pressing in on me today. The enemy has done this," or "Man, I feel like I've been facing a lot of spiritual warfare," or any of those kinds of comments where we are notating activity in the negative that's coming against us. And believe me, I believe that stuff actually happens. I actually believe that we have an enemy. I believe Satan is our enemy. I believe that We do live in the midst of a spiritual battle. We do have spiritual warfare. I do believe that. However, I think sometimes we give way more way more credit to the enemy than he deserves. I know I will say for my own life, quite frequently I have in the past given Satan credit for things that probably were almost completely my own fault. So sometimes it's nice to pass the buck to someone else. The only negative of that is then I'm kind of surrendering control over how to solve that problem. But so if we're going to give so much credit to the enemy, why not challenge ourselves over this next week, the rest of this month anyways, as we're doing our Thanksgiving journal? Why don't you challenge yourself, instead of giving any credit to the enemy today, tomorrow, the next day? Why don't we find things to give God credit for? Why don't we find, and I think even do it in the same of what I was talking about, those times where I'm passing the buck because I don't want to take credit for something that I did wrong. Why don't I pass the buck to the Lord when it's something really good that I probably shouldn't take credit for? So there's just a few thoughts there, but then to wrap it all up, what are we declaring? We're declaring his wondrous works. So that could be categorized in one could be the wondrous work of creation, the fact that he created the heavens and the earth, and just one that it's so beautiful. Just standing outside the other night looking at all the stars and just kind of like taken aback. Just, it's pretty glorious. It's pretty amazing. So there's all the stars, and wow. And the fact that he created everything, and the fact that he created everything means he's in control, he's in charge. And so that's awesome. That's amazing. But then what about the functioning of the world since then? Like he sends rain where rain is needed. And I know we need some rain here. I know we're kind of in the middle of a little bit of a drought here in South Mississippi. So we're praying for some rain. But I remember even with a friend of mine, he needed to harvest some hay, and we needed the rain to not come that week so that the hay would stay dry enough to be able to bale it and to bring it in and all that kind of stuff. And so we just joined together in prayer that there wouldn't be any more rain that week, and man, it rained right after he got done harvesting everything. So it was pretty awesome how good God is to even listen to our requests like that. And also to think about, so his acts of creation, all of those wondrous acts, and then the acts of just continuing to make life flourish. So the rain and the sun and the moon and the tide, that he keeps the tide moving so that our whole ecosystem continues to function. It's pretty incredible. But then lastly, to think about the wondrous acts of redemption, salvation, sanctification, and just all of the different things that God has accomplished in us and continues to work in us and through us as time goes on. And so I will thank the Lord with all of my heart. I will declare all your wondrous works. And then we'll just throw in verse 2 for a bonus. I'll rejoice and boast about you. I will sing about your name, Most High. With that, God bless you today. Have an amazing day. And may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you peace.